Welcome back, trainers. With PvP around the corner, we got to keep on talking about this because, well, it's going to be pretty big, and I want to make sure you are all prepared the best that you can be. So we're going to go into some gym battles using a few league teams that I put together so you can have a general idea as to what you may want to do. So we're going to go in here with Steelix. That's going to be weak to ground, fire, fighting, water. So we have Salamence to follow it up, which is going to be resisting all of that. Yeah, it's fantastic. Flying and dragon type. And then we have the Whalewren in the back just to protect it from some sort of ice attack. Now, obviously, the computers in the gym are not going to pull out another Pokemon and start using ice moves. I just thought I'd throw that in the end there just to give you a general idea. Now, before we continue on, make sure you are subscribed so you can stay up to date on all my tips on how I can help you guys perfect your battling skills in the future. I can't go too much more in depth about how the mechanics are going to work because we have yet to see that. They haven't disclosed any of that. We can simply see what we're going to see here at just a faster pace. Obviously, the Pokemon in the gyms, the AI are not tapping as fast as they can, as opposed to a human person who would be attacking you much faster. So keep that in mind as well. And another thing to take into consideration is a possible cooldown for quick attacks, because if we did go in there 2 players head to head, just tapping away as fast as they possibly can, it's going to make the battle very intense. Not only that, it's not going to be a horrible thing, but very just tappy, right? And then swipe to the side. Who knows if you're going to dodge or not with somebody tapping at that rate. I mean, we're dodging computers moving fairly slow, using their attacks at a normal speed. This is going to be a human going extremely fast, I would assume. All right, so what this video is mainly about is you should be practicing with your league teams, the 1500 team, Pokemon under that CP, right around there. You don't want to go too low because you're going to be going up against other trainers with around that CP. You don't want to be sitting at, 1100 or something like that. Unless they made it so every Pokemon is just flat 1500. I don't think they're going to do that, but you never know. We're going to possibly be seeing this within the next couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. So another thing is to remember when you're going up against Pokemon in a gym, their defense, attack, everything is ×2. So they're pretty strong and defensive Pokemon. So when you're going up against another human, it's going to feel a lot more easier to cut through their Pokemon. It's not going to be so tanky, and they're not going to be putting on so much damage to you if you are around the same CP level, okay? So we have my Medicham going in here, has Counter and Ice Punch. So it's going to be able to take out things that are weak to fighting types. At around that CP, Counter is going to be doing a decent enough amount of damage for me to continuously keep it going without having to worry about using my Ice Punch too much. And the key here is to try to have coverage moves, to use your quick attacks to your advantage and not worry too much about using your charge move. You're going to obviously want to do that, but think about the next Pokemon that's going to be possibly coming out, because if you're sitting there countering at their Blissey and they're thinking to themselves, well, I want to spare this Blissey some, I'm going to switch into something like flying types. Well, they pull in their Dragon Flying, and then you hit them with the Ice Punch, and bam, super effective. That's going to do a lot of damage. They're going to be sitting there confused. Should they switch back in with their Blissey, or should they keep going with their Dragonite and just get destroyed? Okay, now I want to talk about a Pokemon that I think is going to be overused unless they implement some sort of legendary block where you cannot just, I don't know, pick a full team of legendaries or pick any legendaries for that matter. If you're going into the Great or Ultra League, probably the Master, maybe you can pick legendaries for the Ultra and Master League, but you're not going to be able to get one into the Great League because you can't get a legendary under 1500 CP. But with that said, yeah, Raikou is going to be a toughie, and you're going to want to have something to counter it. Not all the time, and it's not something you have to purely worry about. It's going to be a good Pokemon, but I just can see it now. People are going to be using those. Now you can simply fix that problem by using a Dragonite. Your Dragon moves are going to be doing neutral damage, and you're not going to be taking super effective damage. And also, if you have one of these fancy Venusaurs right here, with Sludge Bomb, that electric move is not going to be very effective to you. And this is a pretty tanky Pokemon, so it can take a good amount of hits. And when you hit him with Sludge Bomb, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, neutral, and you're going to be getting stabbed because you are poison type. So that's another thing to consider. Pokemon that have Earthquake. So let's go ahead and go back to CP. And none of my maxed out Snorlaxes definitely don't have it, but Snorlax is another option, has Earthquakes, very slow, but it still should help you take care of that Raikou to some degree. Now let's go ahead and look at my Sandslash, because I mean, it's time for lower tier Pokemon to shine. I mean, if you're going to go into Master Mode with a Sandslash, in hopes of trying to counter a Raikou in the midst of 2 other beastly Pokemon, I mean, it's not a horrible option because you're going to have that continuous mud shot instead of relying on that one big earthquake that they can possibly dodge. If we're able to even dodge, you're going to have a continuous mud shot going on there. So we'll see how that goes. There's another good option. And then you also have Nidoking to take not very effective damage and dish out neutral damage with stab because poison type. So that's another great option. Anything ground to resist it and just dish out normal damage back should help you quite nicely. All right, so consider that. You definitely don't want to use a Dugtrio. This is a maybe go-to Pokemon in the Great League, but it doesn't have very much health and it's just going to go down super fast. Okay, that's just the way it works with no abilities, no turn-based style play unless they change it. Dugtrio doesn't have a chance around. All right. And then, of course, you have Rhyperior. I haven't evolved mine yet, of course. Still need to work on that one. Been trying out other Pokemon. So Rhyperior is going to be a fantastic Pokemon. It's going to have a 4x weakness to grass and water, so you need to look out for that. But on the bright side, it is going to have Smackdown, which is it's the best rock move. It is so strong. And like we were discussing in the beginning, you're going to kind of want to focus on your quick move from time to time. Not just spam it and never, try to do your charge move, but if you're waiting for that Pokemon to come out that's going to be weak to your charge move, it'll be maybe in your best interest just to tap that quick move a few more times, knock them out, hit them with the charge, and do super effective damage. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how my advice works. So, yes, this is going to be a great option with Smackdown and Earthquake. So if you have one of those and you're thinking, Tyranitar is still better. Well, I mean, Rhyperior is good too. It's not 4x weak to fighting, right? But it's 4x weak to other things, unfortunately. So you do have this Pokemon as well. If you have the Sinnoh Stone, I don't know what's going on with those guys. It's not a 100% drop rate anymore. I don't know why they did that to even begin with. Slow it down like that. It's very weird. So check out this team here. Pretty nice. We have a Slowking, Kangaskhan, and then a Dodrio. Now I'm going to lose with this team. I take quite a few hits because it's also a good idea to just let Pokemon take hits to see how well they can perform through that battle. Are they going to be able to put off a good amount of damage? I haven't seen a Kangaskhan do Outrage before, so I kind of personally wanted to see how much it would be doing to specific types of Pokemon. My Dodrio here performed outstandingly well. When I was put under pressure to have to dodge towards the end, it went pretty good. So I went in there with the Slowking first, and I was kind of slacking around and not trying to dodge all of the moves and see how well it can perform. It was nice going up against that Espeon with that Slowking because it did have Water Gun and Fire Blast. If I did have any Psychic moves, that's not going to be very effective. But since I had Water and Fire, it was just neutral to that Espeon. I also had a lot of coverage with Water and Fire types. If I had a Grass Pokemon come out, well, I'll be able to Water Gun until maybe if I was lucky enough to still survive to get off that Fire Blast and maybe do a good amount of damage, even if they dodged, or even if you can dodge, who knows. So coverage like that is things you're going to want to go for. Also the Typhlosion here with Shadow Claw and its Community Day move, Blast Burn. That Shadow Claw is going to be great against Metagross and other Psychic type Pokemon, even for Ghosts. So consider that. Yes, we have the Alolan Raichu that is also going to be weak to ground as well as Typhlosion, but then you have the Crobat there to kind of, balance it out. It's not unfortunately, in Pokemon Go, ground moves still hit flying type Pokemon because they don't want the game to come to a standstill. Everything's kind of needs to continuously flow fluidly. Otherwise, there would be a whole plethora of types that wouldn't be doing damage to others. You would have also Dragons not doing anything to Fairies, and then Psychic not doing anything to Dark, Ghost not doing anything to Normal. So the whole point of this video, trainers, was to get you ready in the mindsets to start using 3 Pokemon for these different leagues, specifically the Great and the Ultra League. The Master League, sure, you can test that one out as well, but that one's going to be a madhouse, and I can't wait to cover that. But as far as the Great and Ultra League, you're going to have that CP limit of 1500 for the Great, so make sure you get your Pokemon ready for when this does drop, because Niantic themselves said to be ready. And for the Great League, make sure they're about 2500 and not over. With that said, trainers, if this helped you out, please give it a like, and I'll be catching you all next time.